We all know Bohin make the best tapestry needles or cross-stitch needles, at least in my opinion they do. But did you know that they also make lovely little accessories? And I have a few here to show you, which came from a collection that they did with this lady, whose name I'm not even going to try. Audrey, I want to say Audrey Jeanne, but I'm sure it's meant to be Audrey Jeanne. We'll just call her Audrey. Audrey, we mean you no offense, I just can't pronounce your surname. So Audrey is an illustrator and photographer from, I believe, Normandy, which is where Bohin have their headquarters and their factory where they make their needles and their pins. And Audrey has drawn these beautiful little images of cats. And I know lots of stitchers and lots of crafty people love their cats. So this little one is on a pink background and she is playing with, I think this might be a tape measure, or maybe it's just a piece of yarn. But anyway, she's having a great old time. And then her sister or her friend, or maybe it's the same cat, but I like to think they're sisters. This little one is playing with a ball of yarn, and it's actually pink yarn. I don't know if you can actually see that, but it is pink. So there's the needle minders, and I really like the Bohin needle minders because the backing magnet is quite big, and obviously when you're using a needle minder, so there's our little magnet, and then here's our larger backing magnet. When you are using a needle minder, it's really important that you keep track of those magnets, especially if you have kids or pets. You don't want them to go missing, and because these Bohin ones are, pretty chunky compared to the usual size, I think you probably have an easier or a better chance of keeping track of it. So there is the needle minders. They do actually come in little plastic slips like this. I've just taken them out so that the lights are not bouncing as much and you can see a little bit better the detail, this lovely gold rim running around them. These are really, really, really hefty as well and really nicely made, which is lovely. And then we also have some tape measures. I don't want to take them out of the packaging, so I'm just going to show you, but you can see that it's just a plastic case, and then you just take out your tape measure and it's going to pull back. And it measures in both centimetres and inches, and 150 centimetres or 60 inches in length. So a really, really good, generous length if you are going to be using this for stitching. Tape measures are really, really handy. You might think, oh, a stitcher would never need a tape measure. I use a tape measure all the time. They're great for measuring out your threads when you're cutting them. They're great for making sure that you have enough fabric, that your piece of fabric is the right size, that if you're going to start in the corner, that you've measured in, enough into the fabric so that you've given yourself a good border. Really, really handy. And here we have another one. And this one again has our little white kitten with her ball of yarn on a green background. So yeah, there are just a few little bits from the Bohin by Lord Audrey Jeanne. I mean, you tell me, if you speak French, what does that say? Jean? Well, Audrey, whoever you are, your artwork is absolutely beautiful. And I think these would make a really, really nice little gift for a stitcher, because as stitchers, we love needle minders and we love little trinkets and anything that makes our stitching even prettier and even more fun.